Well, hello, fans. I'm here once again with Alan Hinton. Alan, you brought your cane today. You're no longer using the walker. Life is good.
Life is good. I've gone from back surgery to a chair to a walker to crutches. Now I have a single walking cane, and I'm in very good spirits. Thank you for asking.
Well, Alan, we're in the midst of the final stages of the season. Sounders have a huge match against your old team, Vancouver Whitecaps. Your thoughts on the upcoming derby and what the implications are?
Well, normally it's always a great challenge. It's a great rivalry, always has been now for 40 years. Whitecaps coming to the Old Kingdom years ago. They'd bring 3,000 to 5,000 fans. They'd start singing their song, Aggie, Aggie, Aggie. Then they'd all go in FX McCrory's and have a few beers, and it was a great atmosphere. Same when the Sounders went up to Vancouver, 3,000 to 5,000 fans. You don't get so many now because of the advent of television, but this is a great rivalry, and particularly this Saturday, 1 o'clock in Seattle. It's maybe the biggest and most important game of the season, because if the Sounders beat the Whitecaps, Sounders will jump over the Whitecaps and still have 2 games in hand. So it's crucial for Vancouver. It's crucial for the Whitecaps. So it'll be a big crowd. They're opening the full stadium. I'm sure there'll be best part of 50,000 at the game, and it's a challenge. Big games. I love big games.
Alan, a couple of moves off the pitch. First of all, the really big news. You and I were sitting out here at the Sounders' practice, and who was on the pitch? Clint Dempsey. What does that mean for the team when you have somebody of that caliber back on the pitch?
Well, it will certainly give the players a boost. So I think Dempsey coming back is a boost for the whole club, for the fans, for the coach, and it's a big game. So it's a real good bonus, if you like, for Dempsey to be back.
And we know it's more of a psychological boost, because I know the Sounders have said that he's still under evaluation, etc. Do you think he'll have any input, being the veteran player that he is, on this derby? What would he say in the locker room? What influence could he have?
Well, I mean, the chances are that the players will really respect him for coming back. They'll know he's probably taking a little bit of a chance, even though that's not advisory for him to do that. But the fact that he wants to play, the fact that the doctors have obviously given him the okay to play, is really good news. And
the other piece of news, Alan, is the fact that Zach Scott is retiring. What does Zach Scott mean to this team, and some memories that you have of Zach as well as his retirement?
Well, my memories of Zach Scott are that he's first of all been a marvellous player for the Sounders. He's been marvellous off the field with his promotional abilities and his personality. He's got time for everybody, and he's the perfect pro. And I think it's a good time for him to announce his retirement, because ahead of him now is probably Chad Marshall, Roman Torres. It looks as if he's back now, which is great, and Brad Evans. So technically, Zach Scott will be a bench player, will come on in any fullback position or central defensive position. But I'm glad he's announced his retirement a few games from the end, so the fans can salute him in his final. There's 4 home games to go, so I'm sure there'll be the fans, particularly behind the goal, will be singing Zach Scott's name, and so will I. He's a great servant. I'm sure he's got much more to offer to the Sounders in whatever capacity he is offered or wants. But he's the Rock of Gibraltar. I mean, he's a strong guy. He plays injured. He gives his best in practice. He's always working on his game. I've seen his game improve dramatically from the very first year in Major League Soccer, 2009. He was always working on his game, and in the end he became a very, very good passer of the ball, and he was very dangerous going forward on headers. But I salute Zach. Tell you what, if you went into a battle behind Zach Scott, you wouldn't get any marks on you, because he'd be forcing everything.
Now, well, let's transition over to the English Premier League. You and I have talked endlessly about Pep Guardiola as well as Mourinho. They went head-to-head, and as usual, it seems like Pep came out ahead. Well, your thoughts?
The score, obviously Manchester City won 2-1. They were up 2-0, and then Manchester United scored a very fine goal from Ibrahimovic on a real bad error by the new goalkeeper, Bravo, for Manchester City, who clearly replaced Joe Hart, who's been allowed to go on loan now to Torino in Italy. But Bravo was very lucky late on. He went way, way, way over the top. Studs high on Wayne Rooney. Clattenburg, the referee, who is reputedly the best referee in England, made an error. This was an over-the-top tackle, a clear red card if it had happened on the field, and of course a penalty kick to Manchester United. So Mourinho was on about that, and he's not wrong. But in the end, Manchester City were just the better team. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, Pep Guardiola, I mean, he's had 4 games now and he's got 12 points. But in the end, it's a real good battle at the top of the first division.
Alan, we'll look forward to your comments after this derby, and I'm sure, depending on the outcome, we may have lots more to talk about for our next session of Alan Hinton Unleashed.
And I think the Sounders beat Whitecaps. You can put your cap on the Sounders making the playoffs.
Great. Alan, thank you once again.
Okay.